Hey guys, welcome to another video. If you're new here, I'm Kelly, and today's video is a little chatty, get ready with me, create this look with me, and a Q&A. I asked you guys on my social medias if you had some questions for me. I was very excited to see that lots of you did want to know questions about my life. We're going to talk about everything from teaching to my husband to what I feel about YouTube. I know it's gonna be a long one because I've already filmed it and my battery is blinking at me that it needs a break and it needs to be charged. So grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's jump into the video. Okay, I have to say, it has been a while since I've filmed a video like this, so I won't really be talking too much about the products. I'll try to show you guys everything that I'm using, but I will have it all listed in the bottom bar down below. But we are here pretty much more for some chit chat, Q&A, getting to know me, hearing a little bit more about my life, and hopefully the makeup turns out well. I am going to do more of a neutral look, surprise, surprise. If you are familiar with my channel, you do know that I am a neutrals girl through and through. I actually just filmed a video with my friend Rachel, Things by the Burke, and we were talking about our neutral eyeshadow palettes. So I can link that here if you didn't get a chance to check that out. But later on today, we are going to get family pictures taken. I like to do the family photo Christmas cards every year. I just started it a few years ago, like right before I got pregnant with my daughter. And so now it's just a thing. So we're getting our picture taken today. My friend Jen that I work with, she takes pictures on the side, so she's taking our pictures. So I am getting ready for that. So my makeup is hopefully going to look good in pictures. It's gonna be a little bit more on the natural side though. And then I'm gonna head out and get some pictures taken, get our Christmas cards made, but I thought that I would film getting ready and answer your questions. And thank you to everybody that sent in questions. I was so excited to see that there are a good amount. I do want to say I am one of those people that makes a short story long, so I'm going to try and be concise and to the point and not ramble too much. I also did already do my eyebrows, one, because I was charging my camera battery, and two, they take me forever to do, but I'll have all of the products listed down below. Let's go ahead and start with a question, otherwise I'll be chatting here forever. What do you teach? What grade? I have mentioned on my channel before that I am a teacher. I'm an elementary school teacher. So I do currently teach second grade, although I've been teaching third grade for the past 6 years. I started my teaching career in 2010 and I taught a couple years of third grade. That's where my heart lies. I did my student teaching in third grade and in kindergarten, and I really, really love third grade. So I taught a couple years of third grade, moved down to second grade, did that for 3 years, and then I switched over to a new school and I was in third grade there. And so I've been there for 5 years in third grade with a partner teacher. So I teach math, science, and social studies, and my partner teacher does the ELA side of things. So this year our entire third grade team and second grade team swapped and we'll be looping. So my entire team, my partner and I, were in second grade, and then next year we'll move up with those kids into third grade. So I'm excited to get back into third grade. Although we're doing great, you know, in second grade. It's not too big of a jump. It's not like I went from like 5th grade to 1st grade, but I just really like the age of third graders. I like that they're more independent, but they still love you. They still want to be with you. I am going to be using the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette today. I guess I'll try to show you a little bit of what I'm doing. I do set the primer, so I'm going to take this vanilla cream shade to set all over my eyelids. I had another teaching question. I had a few teaching questions. Another one was, would you like to grow your channel large enough to ever quit teaching? So I would love to grow my channel to have tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I think that would be amazing. I would love to make money off of my channel. I currently do not. I'm not monetized. If you are new to my channel, I've been filming videos since 2015, but I'm recently coming back from a break. I had my daughter in April of 2019 and took about 14 months off and just started filming again this summer. So I had just gotten monetized, and then I lost all of that when I took my break. I would love to be able to make money off of a hobby. I think anybody that can do that should. If you have a hobby that you love, that's what YouTube is for me. That's what makeup is for me. It's a hobby. If you have a hobby that you love and you can make money off of it, that's awesome. My friend Jen that I talked about, who's taking our pictures today, she takes photos on the side. She's a teacher with me, but she likes to take photos. She likes photography. She also makes t-shirts. She has a little Cricut machine, I think is what it is called, and she enjoys doing all of that, and then she can sell them. So I think if you have a hobby, like YouTube is for me, and you can make money off of it, that's awesome. As far as would I ever quit teaching for YouTube, I really don't know. I really don't know that I would. So I apparently told my mom, I'm gonna go in with the caramel shade, the light brown. I apparently told my mom when I was 3 years old that I wanted to be a teacher. Now, what 3-year-old who's not in school wants to be a teacher? I do not know. I don't even know how I knew what school was. I do have an older brother and sister, and they're quite a bit older than me. My brother's 5.5 years older than me. My sister's 7.5 years older than me, but neither one of them liked school. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like they were probably coming home complaining about school. I'm getting some kickback. They were probably coming home complaining about school, so I don't know at what point 3-year-old me said, hey, I want to teach. But according to my mom, 3-year-old me wanted to be a teacher, and so it's just something I really feel like it's my calling. I really don't feel like teaching is a job. I feel like it's my calling. I feel like that is where God has placed me, and that is what He really wants me doing. I love working with kids, but I do like that it gives me an opportunity to be home with my daughter more. Like, I always have weekends off. I always have holidays off. I have summers off with her. So I really like the flexibility that I have in teaching. I love the kids. I love getting to know my kids each year. I'm excited to loop with this group of kids. So I do really enjoy teaching. It has definitely been very challenging virtually this year. I think I'm gonna go in with, I might try to mix the two browns that are on the outside, the hazelnut and pumpkin spice. So this year has been challenging with virtual teaching and everything, but my heart's still in it. So I don't know. This is a very long-winded way of saying I don't know if I would ever do YouTube full-time to the point where I would quit teaching. Because for me, like I said, YouTube is a hobby. It's something I do for fun. I love playing in makeup. And I've always kind of loved makeup, but I had my Instagram page before my YouTube channel, and I just enjoy playing in makeup. But I've also been someone who has, you know, told myself if I don't feel like filming, I'm not gonna force myself to film. If I don't feel like putting a video up, if I feel like taking a week off, then that's what I'm gonna do. You know, like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. And I know that even if I did do YouTube full time, you know, obviously I would be my own boss and I'd be able to call the shots and take a week off and post when I want. But I feel like if that was my livelihood, that would create a whole new stress of feeling like I have to do it and not that I want to do it. So like I said, I would love to have tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of makeup friends to chat with and, you know, that enjoy my videos. I think that would be great, but I don't know that I would want the pressure of having to do that full time and that being my job. I just don't know. And you know, when I started my channel, I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years now. When I started my channel, I never went into it thinking this would be a career. Now at the time, I knew that people were making money off of it. So I mean, like, that would be an added bonus, but it wasn't something, I did not go into it thinking, hey, I'm gonna make a career out of this. Let me see, I think I have a couple other teaching questions. So one is, if you weren't a teacher, what other job would you have loved? Gracie girl, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I've wanted to be a teacher for as long as I can remember. I don't ever remember wanting another job. I take that back. You know what other job I could do? I could go into counseling. I do not foresee myself staying in education and getting out of the classroom. I am someone where I feel like my spot is in the classroom with the kids. I don't want to be an administrator. I don't want to be an assistant principal. If I did ever go back for my master's though, it would probably be in counseling. I think I could be a therapist, a counselor. I think I would really enjoy that. Not a psychiatrist to the point of like dealing with medications and stuff. I don't think I would enjoy that side, but the counseling part, sitting down, talking to people. I love getting to know people. I love chatting with people. And so I think that I could do that if I wasn't in teaching. I think for the lid shade, I love these lid shades. I think I'm gonna go with this one right here. Another question related to teaching is, I would like to know more of the struggles of digital teaching and how can we help as parents. Let me tell you, Aileen, I have been thinking about this question since I saw you ask it. And I think my biggest advice as a teacher to parents, now I do have to say my daughter's only 18 months old. So I don't have a parent perspective of teaching. I only have a teaching perspective of teaching. But my biggest advice would be just to give your child's teacher some grace. If they don't answer your emails quickly, please give them grace. If they don't answer your questions in a way that's helpful, please give them grace. If they're giving too much work, not enough work, if they're not clear in their directions, please give them grace. Because here's a secret. We don't know what we're doing either. Okay? We do not know what we were doing either. When this all started with COVID-19, we had to completely change the way that we teach our kids, especially in elementary school. Everything we do in 2nd and 3rd grade in math is with manipulatives, is with partners, is playing games, and we can't do any of that. I have kids both face-to-face and virtual right now, and I find that my biggest struggle is trying to find ways to teach that are beneficial to the kids that don't involve them working with each other. They can't work with each other. They can't share materials. If they do touch something, another kid can't touch it. They have to be spaced out. And this is not a way that school has ever been for me. In my experience, this is my 11th year of teaching. I've never had to work like that before. And, you know, this was unexpected. So our curriculum is, you know, we've had to create everything as teachers. We've had to come in and create work and use a platform that we've never been familiar with. And everything is so incredibly different for us. And we're literally flying by the seat of our pants and we're making it up as we go. And as a parent, that may or may not be what you want to hear, but we are just trying our best. And just like you get frustrated and feel burnt out and feel worn out, we feel the same way. We just want to do what's best for your kids. We feel like a lot of the fun and the things that we like to do that we enjoy, we are unable to do at this point in time. I know like every teacher that I work with is hoping and praying that next year we can go back to the way that we've always done things, because it's really difficult. And it's also difficult to have kids both face-to-face and virtual. I would much more prefer to either be 100% virtual or 100% face-to-face, because I feel like I'm essentially teaching, even though it's the same kids in the same class and they're learning the same thing. I feel like the way that I teach is very different when I'm on a computer screen versus in person. And it's just really challenging. It's very stressful. And I don't know that people really realize, you know, everybody says, oh, teachers, you work from 7:30 to 3:30. Okay, yes, I'm with your children from 7:30 to 3:30, but our conference time when the kids go to PE and music are filled with team planning or meetings or staffings, or the librarian needs to talk to us, or the principal needs to talk to us, or the counselor needs to talk to us. And so all of my planning for the day, prepping for the day, all of my grading papers, all of my making sure that my papers are on the platform that we're using, all of that is done outside of the 7:30 to 3:30 time. And so this year I've been staying at school later than I have ever stayed at school in my entire teaching career. I'm spending less time with my family, and it's hard for everybody. So if you have a kid who's virtual learning, my advice is just do the best you can. Be open and honest with the teacher, ask questions, but just give them a little bit of a break this year. And hopefully they are giving your kiddos and you a little bit of a break too, because we know that y'all are stressed out just like we are. Hopefully that's helpful. I don't know if that was helpful at all, but hopefully that was helpful. Another question is, how do you balance teaching, momming, and YouTubing so well? Well, thank you for thinking that I manage all of that so well, but the answer is I did not for a very long time, which is why I took 14 months off of YouTube when my daughter was born. That was not planned, and I don't want to get too much into that because I do have a whole video that I filmed when I came back from my break, so I'll link that here if you want to check that out. But I didn't plan on taking that time off. It wasn't something that, you know, I said, oh, I'm gonna have a new baby, so let me take some time off. It just, like I said, I am someone where I was like, if I don't feel like filming, I'm not gonna film. But I loved filming and I missed it, and I pre-film all of my videos. I know there are some amazing women who can get a product in a day, film it, edit it, and have it all up in the same day. I do not do that. Right now, all of my YouTube stuff is on the weekend. I film on the weekend. Today is currently a Saturday. I edit on the weekend after my daughter goes to sleep. Right now she's napping. She usually does wake up toward the end of me filming, and my husband works in education as well. He's a content specialist, so he's kind of like a coach to the teachers. And so he's home on the weekends with me. So he'll get her up from her nap and kind of play with her and keep her occupied while I'm finishing up filming. But on the weekends I do YouTube when my daughter's sleeping, and then I edit after she goes to sleep. Sometimes I have to still edit during the week too, because editing is what takes the longest in this field, in this YouTube career. For me at least, editing is what takes the longest. And so I try to edit on the weekends after she goes to sleep, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. Sometimes I have to edit a little bit during the week when she goes to sleep. But during the week, when I'm at school, I'm working, and when I'm home, I'm home. So I'm currently staying after school until about 4 or 5 each night so that I can do what I need to do for school. And then when I get home, I do stuff with my family. I eat dinner with them. We hang out together. We play outside with Brielle. We go for walks together. And then when she goes down, she is 18 months old. I don't know if I said that. She goes down around 7:30. So after that, if I have some more schoolwork to do or some more editing to do, that's when I do it. My husband is almost done with his master's degree in administration, so like principal AP type of thing. And we turned our dining room, this was right at the start of COVID, we turned our dining room into an office. We were already planning to do that because we have a formal dining room area in our house, but we never used it in the 5 years that we've lived here. So we turned it into an office. So that's kind of when we would spend time together, is at night after she would go to sleep. He'd be on the computer doing his work, and I would be either doing schoolwork or editing a video or something of the sort. So it's definitely time management. It takes some time to figure out. You have to kind of prioritize things. So you have to say, and you know, Rachel asked this and she's about to be a new mommy, you kind of have to say, during this time I will dedicate my time to YouTube. During this time I will dedicate my time to work. During this time I will dedicate time to my family. And you have to stick to that and let people help you. If people want to help you, let them help you, because you'll need it for sure. But my husband, I mean, I for sure could not do it without him. There would be no K Bella Beauty without him. There would be no makeup without him. There would be nothing without him. He is a huge, huge help and a huge supporter of my channel. He bought my camera for me. He bought my ring light for me. He's the one that told me, like, start an Instagram. When I was thinking about this years ago, I started my Instagram in 2014, and I would not be able to do any of it without his help. What pushed you to start your channel? So I was watching YouTube, and I don't remember exactly when or why I started watching YouTube, but I think it was shortly after I got married. I got married in 2013, and I think it was shortly after that that I started watching YouTube videos. And like I said, I do not remember how I came to start watching them. I honestly don't remember at all, but I've always loved makeup. I've always been into it, but when I started watching YouTube, that's when I got so much more into makeup. And I remember just telling my husband, like, I kind of want to start this Instagram. Like, I want to have a makeup Instagram and talk about makeup and share my favorites. And, you know, instead of just watching other people talk about it, I want to have people to talk to about makeup. So I started with my Instagram. And on there, I made some friends and I would post my makeup favorites. But then I started noticing my friend Smegs that I talk about a lot, she's fair-skinned like me, but she has dark hair and dark eyes. And I started noticing that as I was watching YouTube and talking to Smegs about makeup, makeup looked different on me than on other people. For example, MAC Modesty. I love that lip shade. It looks completely different on Smegs than on me. It looks like two totally different lipstick shades. So I would ask her, oh, what are you wearing? And she would tell me, and I would go get it, and it would look totally different on me. And at the time, when I started in 2015, I was like, there aren't really a ton of redheads on YouTube with, I do have fair skin, but it's more of a warm yellow undertone. I think I'm gonna go in with caramel on the lower lash line and a pencil brush. But there weren't a lot of, you know, warm toned, fair-skinned redheads on YouTube. And I was like, you know what? I want to start my channel so that if there are any redheads out there with skin tones similar to mine who want to talk makeup, we can find each other on here. And so I started my channel, and I love talking, in case you haven't been able to tell. So it was just a way for me to talk about makeup. And also, you know, I was hoping to help people with my skin tone or with my hair color. And, you know, even recently I've had subscribers and followers message me or DM me on Instagram and say, hey, I think my skin tone is similar to yours, or I have a hair color similar to yours. Have you tried this? What do you think of it? Can I see a swatch of this? And that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to talk makeup with people, but also help people out if they, you know, had similar skin tone to mine. So that's why I started. What are your favorite videos to film? I think talking videos. Not necessarily like chatty get ready with me's, but talking about makeup, whether it's sharing a haul or talking about makeup that I'm using, or I just filmed a video. I saw Kate the Great film a video that was titled like her top 10 products that she repurchased. And I love Kate. Kate is amazing. If you're not following her, definitely go check her out. I just think she is a wonderful human being. And when I filmed that video, I hadn't chatted with her on Instagram yet, and I don't feel like I gave her like a proper shout out in the beginning of my video, but I love Kate the Great. She is just a good quality human. She is not afraid to speak her mind, and she's very true and honest to who she is, and I love that about her. And she speaks up for people who are facing injustices. She speaks out against racism. She speaks out against unfair treatment of others, and I love that about her. And we've connected on Instagram, and I think she's amazing. But videos like that, where you're talking about makeup products or talking about makeup you want or makeup you don't want, those I think are my favorite to film. I had another question that was similar, I think. What are your favorite and least favorite parts of social media? My favorite part of social media has been, I need to start doing my makeup again because I'm just talking. My favorite part of social media has been recently finding other YouTubers to connect to. That's something, I talked about this in my video, was it favorite YouTube channels under 10K? I'll link that here if you didn't check that out. But I talked about how, maybe I want to do a little bit darker on the lower lash line. I'm going to go in with the hazelnut shade. I talked about how before my YouTube break, I didn't really have a ton of friends in the beauty space. I was more of a silent watcher, a silent observer, and I didn't comment on a lot of videos, and I wasn't following a lot of smaller channels. A lot of the channels I was watching were the mega influencers. And so I would hear people say that they made these friends and they were meeting people in person and going to these events and they got to hang out with each other. And I was like, I really don't feel like I made any of those connections. So when I came back to YouTube this summer, I was like, that's what I want to focus on. I want to focus on getting to know different YouTubers, making friendships, and really chatting with my subscribers and getting to know people. So that's been my favorite part. I now have several friends on here where when COVID is over and we're able to travel again, like I know that I could call these girls up, do a meetup, do an event when beauty, spaces start happening again. And like, I know I could easily call them up and say, hey, do you want to get this hotel together? And even though we've never met, I feel like they would be like, yeah, let's do that. Let's meet up. So that's been my favorite part. But my least favorite part are the trolls that are on social media. Because I am a smaller channel, I do not get a lot of them, but I see them. I see them on my friends' channels. I see them leaving ugly comments, and misery loves company. So I just remind myself that those people are unhappy with themselves, and that's why they're trying to leave ugly negative comments. But that still is my least favorite part. I'll never forget, before YouTube, I was a very new Instagram page, like within a year of being on Instagram. And I was doing a giveaway. I don't even remember what I was giving away. I honestly don't remember what I was giving away, but I was doing a giveaway. It was my very first giveaway of life. I was doing it on Instagram. I used a random number generator to pick the giveaway winner. And it happened to be someone that I knew on Instagram that I had done like Instagram makeup collabs with. And she won from the number generator. It was honest. Like, I didn't cheat. I literally honestly did a number generator the best way that I knew how. It happened to be another makeup creator that I had collaborated with who still had like 1,000 Instagram followers. It's not like she was a mega influencer, but she entered the giveaway honestly and she won honestly. And I shared the winner. And this is why I don't really share the winners of my giveaways on YouTube or Instagram anymore. I shared the giveaway winner and sent her package, and she was super grateful. And someone that I didn't know, that only found me because of the giveaway. He was not following me before the giveaway. He only followed me because of the giveaway. Started sending me ugly, nasty messages, talking about the way I looked, talking about how I cheated, how I was a fraud, how I gave the makeup away to someone that I was friends with and it wasn't a fair giveaway, and just kept going on and on and on. And I literally responded one time and said, I'm so sorry you feel that way. I tried to make it as honest and fair as possible. There will be more giveaways in the future. I hope that you will apply again. And he was very ugly and nasty in his comments to me after that, and I blocked him. And I found out later that he was a high schooler or college student, I don't remember, but one of his friends from school messaged me after that and said, I can't believe you blocked him because he was messaging you about your giveaway. To which I replied to her, your friend was sending me some very ugly messages. I screenshotted what he said to me to her and said this is why he was blocked. And she replied, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I'm so sorry. But that left a very bad taste in my mouth with giveaways, and I did not do one for a very long time after that. And that is the part of social media that I dislike the most, is when people think, I know that I put myself out there. I know that I am on a public platform, that anybody can find me. That is why I make my channel so that if at any point in time any of my students were to find my makeup channel, that it would be okay and they could watch it, it would be fine. I have tried to be very honest on my channel. I've tried to be very open, but I don't like negativity. I don't like people coming on and feeling like they can speak to you however they want to speak to you just because you're on a social media platform. And that's my least favorite part. Probably a lot of people's least favorite parts. What is your go-to skincare routine? Because I'm also dry and you always look bonny. She's Scottish, my Scottish friend. Thank you for the sweet, sweet comment. I don't feel like I've mastered a routine post-baby, honestly. I feel like I'm still struggling a little bit because I still do suffer with super dry skin, and like eczema on my eyelids is real right now. And I just don't feel like I've mastered it. I'm currently using Philosophy Face Wash. I also am trying out the Tatcha Rice Wash, which is a gentle exfoliator. I've used that a few times and it seems to be doing nice things for my skin just to try and get the dry flakes off. I also am into a heavy duty moisturizer. My favorite moisturizer of the moment is the Drunk Elephant Lala Retro Whipped Cream. I really, really love that one. I love a moisturizing toner, Caudalie toner. I've talked about a lot of these products in the 10 products that I've repurchased the most, but if y'all are interested in like a dedicated skincare video, I could do that for you. I'm gonna run and turn the fan on real quick because I'm super hot. Okay, let's see. What else have I not answered? I know when I had my 2 daughters, it was hard with work. How do you manage the kids in YouTube? We kind of touched on that. Definitely carving out time for each specific area of your life. Time management is key. Where's the blush? I'm gonna use my Pillow Talk blush. How and why did you start your YouTube channel? We touched on that. What's your favorite type of makeup? If you mean favorite type of makeup, do you mean like style? I love neutral makeup. I am a neutral lover. I admire colorful makeup. I think it looks so beautiful, but I'm just not very good at it. So my personal favorite to wear is neutral, and I'm into high-end makeup, like makeup at Sephora. You won't find a lot of drugstore on my channel, and that's just because I feel like the quality, especially like of eyeshadows and stuff, is better at Sephora. That's just my personal opinion, personal preference. I know everybody doesn't have that kind of budget, but that is my personal favorite for myself. What kind of makeup do you own the most of? Well, it used to be lipsticks. Like lipsticks used to be the type of makeup that I had the most of, but then I was filming my blush, bronzer, and highlighter video collection, and I had 11 highlighters, and I didn't even know that. I had just gotten down on my makeup palettes, but recently I've gotten a ton more of those, but I still think lipsticks are what I own the most of. Okay, if you were stuck on an island and could only bring what product, what is it? Probably mascara. So I, being a natural redhead and very fair-skinned, my eyelashes are super light and my eyebrows are super light. If I could bring 2 products, it would be the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz and mascara. I'm going to use the Super Glow highlighter. This is in the shade Fair, the fair one. If I could bring 2 products though, it would be my Brow Wiz and mascara. But if I could only bring one, it would be mascara, and it would be the mascara that I'm gonna wear today for my pictures, which is the Monsieur Big mascara. Do you prefer high-end makeup or drugstore? Yeah, high-end. I prefer high-end. Although if you did look, the concealer that I used today was the Milani Conceal and Perfect, and I found that that is a really, really good concealer. Usually for my base products like foundation and stuff, I would not compromise and I would do high-end, but that concealer is absolutely amazing. I do want to try the Pat McGrath concealer because I hear a lot of people talking about it, but that Milani one is very good for drugstore. However, if you were to like come check out all of my makeup, I have more high-end. And then bullet lipstick or liquid. I am liquid lipstick junkie. I was a liquid lipstick junkie before mask wearing became a thing, but especially now with masks, for sure, into liquid lipsticks. And I don't know how it comes off on camera, but if anybody's like, whoa, girl, you are like putting a lot of makeup on. If you're ever getting pictures taken, I was taught, I don't know who I was taught by. A makeup artist at some point, maybe for my wedding, said that when you are having pictures taken, you should always put a little bit more makeup on. So like when you think, oh, that looks good, put a little bit more to make it stand out in your pictures. Just a little tip. What else have I not answered? What's the funniest moment in your teaching career? I was thinking about this too, and I was showing my friend Kelly, my partner teacher, I was showing her, ooh, are we done with the face? I was showing her the questions that everybody asked me. She was like, I want to see what people want to know. And I feel like a lot of the funny moments, you have to like know the kids in order for it to be funny. Otherwise, I feel like if you don't know their personalities, it might not be funny. And because of, you know, confidentiality and safety reasons, I can't talk about the specific kids, but there were a couple moments that I just thought were super cute that came to mind. Like one, when Smags and I first met, we met teaching at our old school together. We both teach at my new school together, but we met at my old school together, and we taught second grade together. And so we're outside at recess one day, and one of the little girls comes up and she's like, are y'all real friends? Like really friends? And we were like, yeah. And she goes, no, 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 like in real life. As if teaching is not real life. Are y'all friends in real life? And we said, yeah, we're friends in real life. So then she said, do y'all go to meetings after school? Yeah, we have meetings after school. Well, what do y'all do after the meetings? Like, do you go to each other's houses and have parties and stuff? And we were like, yes, we do go to each other's houses. But that was just like a really cute, sweet moment where she was like realizing. A lot of kids in elementary school don't realize that we have actual lives outside of teaching. And so she was realizing in this moment that we had like a real life outside of teaching. Another cute moment, when I got engaged, I had a picture of my husband, who was my fiance at the time, out in our front hall. All of the teachers had like family pictures out there, and then the kids could bring their family pictures to school too. And so one of my students came in one day and she said, Miss Case, Case was my maiden name, Miss Case, I saw the picture of you and your Beyonce in the front hall. And I said, me and my Beyonce? She goes, yeah, I saw the picture of you and your Beyonce in the front hall. And another kid looks and goes, I think you mean fiance, not Beyonce. But that was like another super cute moment. And then my partner teacher and I had this really sweet kid. He was a very, very busy boy, but he had like the greatest sense of humor and street smarts. We had him in 3rd grade, and I was playing a planet song. Just a song that I found on YouTube that teaches the kids the name of the planets in order. And he was just dancing his little tush off. He was dancing away, didn't know a lick of the words that the song was singing, probably still does not know what the planets were, but oh, was he dancing. And I loved that kid. He was so funny. He's another one where he had this yogurt for snack. The kids can have a healthy snack. They can't have like candy or chips or cookies or anything like that. And he brought one of those yogurts that has like the M&Ms on the top. And so the kid behind him in line was like, hey, you can't have that. You can't have those M&Ms. That's not healthy. And so we were both standing there, my partner teacher and I, and she was like, it's okay. He's not going to eat them. He's not going to eat the M&Ms. He's just going to eat the yogurt. It's yogurt inside. And he's like, no, that's not fair. That's not fair. You can't have the M&Ms. That's candy. And we were like, no, 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 bud. Like, he's not eating the M&Ms. He's only eating the yogurt. Yogurt is healthy. And he says it one more time to the kid, like, you can't eat that. And the kid just turns around and goes, bruh. And it was just, we instantly started laughing because he was like, the kid behind him was not getting it, that he's like not eating the M&Ms. And so I don't know if any of those are funny to other people who weren't there in those moments, but kids just say the most honest things. It is so cute. I do have a couple more questions to answer, but I think I'm gonna jump off real quick and do my mascara and pick a lip and fix my hair, and then I'll come back to answer the last few questions. Okay, for lips, I went with Colourpop's Lippie pencil in Cool BFF. It came with their That's Taupe collection. And then I was scraping at the bit here with this Ofra Manila liquid lipstick. I was like, I didn't realize that it was almost gone, but I think it's partially dried out and partially scraping at the bit here. Okay, let's go ahead and answer the last few questions. I know there were a couple more on here. If you could use one high-end brand for a year, which would it be? Probably, I thought I knew it, but now I feel a little stumped. If you could only use one high-end brand for a year, what would it be? Probably Charlotte Tilbury. I feel like she's who I have the most from. I don't have any complexion products like foundation or concealer from her, but I've heard good things about her foundation. I have her Film Star Bronze and Glow. I have her blushes. I like her lip products, so probably Charlotte Tilbury. If I had to pick one and only one, that is who it would be. Do you watch any non-beauty related YouTubers? I do not. I barely have time to watch all of the beauty YouTubers that I want to watch, but I've heard that a lot of people are watching like true crime, and I think that would be really interesting to me. But just with the way my schedule is, I'm trying to make sure that I'm catching all of my friends' videos when they're posting, so I don't really have any non-related beauty YouTubers that I'm watching. This one, my friend Rupi said, "How are you so beautiful?" And thank you, Rupi. I replied to her and was like, "You're so sweet, thank you." And she's like, "No, you really have to answer it." So here's what I want to say. Here's my answer to that. I believe that each and every single person that is watching this video is beautiful because you were all created in God's image, and He does not make mistakes, and He created you just the way He wanted you, and He loves you. So that is what I'm going to say about that. Thank you, Rupi. And then the last question is, how did you and your husband meet, and how did he propose? We met in college. We both went to, sorry, this is why I never like to wear my hair down, but I can't have it up now. It needs to be down for pictures. I don't want to tuck it behind my ears. Let's see if I can make it just like not be on me for a second. Okay. We both went to Central Michigan University together. He was on the football team and I was an RA. And if you're not familiar with what an RA is, I lived in the dorms. You can only be an RA if you're not a freshman, so like older than a freshman. I did it, I think, my sophomore and junior years. So I lived on campus. I would get to campus before everybody else, and we would have to stay after the holidays to go through all of the rooms and make sure everything was safe. We had to have like floor meetings. We were all in charge of a floor. And then I was like the person where if someone was doing something they weren't supposed to in the dorms, like I would have to go talk to them about it. We had a couple roommate issues I had to handle. Yeah, so basically you live on campus for free. Your room and board is paid for, not your college classes, but your room and board is paid for, and you kind of like help manage the floor. So it's college students like yourself, but you're kind of helping to like manage the floor. So like some nights I wasn't able to go out. I had to be on call. If something was broken, a door handle, a toilet, whatever, they would call me and I would have to go fix it. So the reason why I'm telling you that is because the football players and the RAs are on campus before everybody else. Well, I was an RA in the all-girls dorm, and there was an all-boys dorm next to us, which housed the freshman football players. So since we were up there before everybody else, it was like just a handful of people. So just athletes were up there, and then like RAs, and that was it. So the football players, the freshmen, would always come over and like run around in the all-girls dorm and talk to like the front desk people that were there and like RAs like me who were there. So I got to know some of the freshman football players. So one day I'm walking through the cafeteria on campus, and one of the guys that I knew calls me over. He's like, "Hey Kelly, come on over." So I walked over to him. I was with one of my girlfriends. 18-year-old Kelly was much more naive than 33-year-old Kelly. I was only 18 years old. And so he called me over and he was like, "Hey, this is my friend Steve." So I was like, "Hi." And Steve said, "Hi." And then my friend was like, "Okay, that's it." okay. And I like turned and walked away. And I remember saying to my girlfriend, I was like, that was really weird. Like, why do you think he called me over to introduce me to this guy? Okay, now 33-year-old me would be like, hello, that guy told him to do that. My husband did. He told him like, oh, you know that girl? And he said yes. So he was like, call her over and introduce us. Well, nothing really came of that. We followed each other, like became friends on Facebook, and like I would see him in passing. Steve, my husband, I would see him in passing. We had like mutual friends just because I knew some of the underclassmen football players. Steve is a year older than me, so it was my sophomore year and his junior year. But obviously he was on the football team with these guys. I knew some of them, so we would run into each other like on campus. And I would say that we like became friendly, and I obviously had a crush on him. I was smitten with him right away. But funny thing, we did not like date in college. We like casually dated here and there. We would go out together and hang out together. But we didn't really date in college because our lives were kind of going in opposite directions. Like I thought that I was going to move to Florida to be with my older sister in Jacksonville, and I was going to teach there. That was my plan. And his plan was to go pro. And so our lives just weren't going in the same direction. So we just kind of like would casually see each other and casually talk. Like I dated other people, he dated other people. And then he ended up getting drafted to the Cleveland Browns, but he got hurt during preseason, so he got cut, and that was like kind of the end of his football career. And he came back to Central to finish classes, and I remember we tried to like seriously date at that time when he came back. He was living near the camp. He was like off campus. He wasn't like on the dorms, but he was like in the area. And so we tried dating, like we would go out, we would spend time together. But I think his focus was elsewhere. Like he was really upset about his life plan not working the way that he thought it was going to. And so he ultimately decided once he graduated to move to New Orleans, where his dad lives. Steve is from Michigan as well. His mom is from Michigan, but his dad lives in New Orleans. And so he decided, he got his degree, he wanted to leave because in Michigan everybody knew him as a football player. And so he kind of wanted to like just have a fresh start where people didn't already have this like preconceived notion of him. So when he moved away, I was like, that's it. Like, I'm never going to see him again. I'm never going to talk to him again. We had this like big dramatic goodbye. I mean, it was goodbye for both of us. Like, I went and said goodbye to him before he left. We were like, good luck. I hope you have a great life. I hope you have a great life. And then we didn't talk for a while, probably over a month. And all of a sudden he started texting me again. And at that time I was like dating someone else. I was already really heartbroken because I really cared about Steve. I was already in love with him at this point. Things just didn't work out for us. And he always told me in college, like he would say, the timing isn't right. The timing isn't right. And now that I look back on it, I'm like, the timing wasn't right, because if we did try to be more serious in college, I don't think we would be together now. But after he left, he started calling me again and texting me again, and he ultimately was like, hey, I want to really like try things out with us seriously. Like, I seriously want to try things out. And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, like for real, I think that we could really make things work. And I'm like, dude, you live in New Orleans and I'm in Michigan and I have one more year of school left. But I ended up deciding that I wanted to really see where things could go. And I did want to give it a full shot, a good shot. And so we dated long distance for a year. And then when I graduated, I thought I was gonna go to New Orleans and teach there. And I graduated, and like a couple weeks after I graduated, he was like, we're not gonna live in New Orleans. Like, you can't come here. You can't come to New Orleans. And I was like, why? And he said, this just isn't the place for you to teach. You need to go somewhere else. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, this is how he's breaking up with me. He is telling me, you go somewhere else. So I'm like, okay. So I had a girlfriend that I had college classes with who got hired down in Texas. Never been to Texas, didn't know anything about Texas, but I had a friend who got hired in Texas, so I asked her about it. I ended up applying. I got an interview to come down to Texas for the first time, interviewed, got the job. So I remember calling him thinking like, he's either gonna tell me that he wants to try and do long distance from Houston to New Orleans, which is 5 hours, or he's gonna say like, just do your own thing. So I remember telling him like, hey, I got this job in Houston, and he's like, okay, great. And I was like, so like, are you gonna like move to Houston with me or no? And he was like, of course, yeah. Like, what are you thinking? And I was like, oh my gosh. And I told him, I just thought like you were trying to break up with me. I thought that you didn't want to be with me anymore. And he's like, no, like I said, just pick somewhere and like I'll move there with you. And I'm like, okay, well, you didn't say it like that. So we ended up moving to Houston together. And we were in Houston for a year. We still go back and forth to New Orleans because that's where he lived for a year, and I would visit him there. His dad is still there. So we went to New Orleans for Thanksgiving after we had been living in Texas for a year. And on the way out there, we got into a car accident. And I knew that we were heading toward marriage because him and I had already talked about we wanted to get married in New Orleans because that's where our love story really blossomed. And his dad is a pastor and we could get married at his church. And so we're on the way to New Orleans for Thanksgiving and we get into this car accident, and I knew he had been saving up for a ring. And I just kind of told him like, hey, it's okay if you don't buy me a ring, like use the money to get the car fixed. And he just said to me like, that money is already gone. So, I mean, obviously that meant he had a ring, but I still wasn't like processing any of it. He didn't propose right away. We got to New Orleans. His dad ended up helping us get the car fixed. But the following weekend, we took his stepmom's car back to Houston after Thanksgiving, and the following weekend his truck was fixed, so we had to go pick it up. And as we're going back there, we were making another weekend trip out of it. And his stepmom, who's from New Orleans, born and raised, was like showing us places where we could like have a reception venue. And if you've never been to New Orleans, there's this beautiful church called the St. Louis Cathedral. It's a beautiful Catholic cathedral down in the French Quarter. And I love that church. I call it the Fairy Tale Church. It's beautiful. It's one of the first places he ever took me when I went to visit him in New Orleans. So we're in front of the church. There is a magazine shoot going on with this girl in a wedding dress taking bridal photos. But for the first time ever, the doors were open to the cathedral. So I'm like looking inside, I'm like peeking around. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Fairy Tale Church, I get to look inside. And Steve is like, hey Kelly, come here. And I'm like, hold on, like I'm looking in the church. And he goes, just come here for a second. And I'm like, hold on, like I'm looking at the church. So I finish looking around and I turn around and he is on one knee. And he proposed to me in front of the St. Louis Cathedral with his dad and stepmom there. Yeah, and so that was that. We had a 1.5-year engagement. We got married in June of 2013 in New Orleans at his dad's church and had a beautiful reception down there. And we now have a baby. Steve is the complete opposite of me, like the complete opposite. I am very much like an extrovert, a people person. I like to be around people, and he is very much, I call him an extroverted introvert, because if you were to meet him, you wouldn't know that he's introverted. He gets along with everybody. He's very charismatic, but he prefers like time to himself. And so like when I go out of town, he like does nothing. He goes nowhere. He orders food in, and that's like his happy place. And then if he goes out of town, I'm like the one that's calling my girlfriends, like, where are we eating Thursday? Whose house are we hanging out at Friday? What are we gonna do on Saturday? What movie are we gonna see? So we're like very much opposites that way. You know, he's super into sports. Obviously, he played sports his whole life. I like don't even know who was in the Super Bowl this past year. So we're a good balance. I'm very high strung and anxious, and he's very calm and chill. And we are a good mixture. So that's a little bit of our love story, but that is going to do it for this video. I'm sure it was super long and my battery's blinking at me, so I don't want to keep you any further, but thank you to everybody who asked questions. If you enjoyed getting to know me a little bit, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. I hope that you will hit that subscribe button, stick around, join the K Bella fam, and if you have any other questions or you want to know more about me, I'm an open book. Leave them down below and I will answer them in the comments. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.